Okay, if you take your calculator and bump that out, let's see if we match. I got 123, and then tangent 26, and just convert that while you're typing it in. Anybody having trouble doing your degrees, minutes, and seconds? It shouldn't give you any trouble. How many digits do we need? 'Cause this is yeah, it is 3, because you got 3 there, and you've got 3 here. They're not counting that 0. And here they are counting the 0. See what I was saying earlier about sometimes they count the 0, sometimes they don't. So here the 0 counts, and here it doesn't. So you just kind of have to look and play it by ear. Let's go with 3. 61.8. But is that your answer? Okay. So you have to add her height. So 61.8 plus 5.3. Now if you wanted to get all toothy about it, you put the 0 on it. So what did that end up being? 67.1? Is that right? Did I do that right? Okay. And that's feet. Okay. There we go. You good with that? Now, the angle of elevation is harder than you thought it would be. That may be why it was hard in the past. Maybe it's depression that was throwing you off. But let's try a different one. Yes, sir. So take this one, see if you can draw your picture, label it. He did not draw his pictures on his test, and it had ramifications. It's rather important to draw your pictures in Trig. Draw and label, draw and label. When you go to sleep at night, you're going to hear me say, draw and label, draw and label. That's the secret to your success. It doesn't have to be pretty. I'm going to go ahead and let's walk through this, because we do have some group work and stuff to do before you can practice. You got the length of the shadow is 34.09. Where's that go? Length of the shadow. Where's the shadow? They're on the ground, aren't they?
That's not saying the length of the shadow.
The building is 34. The shadow.
Well, this is true. The length of the shadow of the building. But this is the shadow.
Of a building that's that tall. That's the height of the building.
Oh, okay. My bad. I am reading it wrong. Thank you for correcting me. So, the length of the shadow of the building, I should have read the whole thing, is building this tall is that much. So, thank you very much. This is the shadow. Okay, and that is the building. So, we need to go 34.09. Haha. And y'all put your 37.62 down there? Good. Okie dokie. Find the angle of elevation. Where is he going to be? Down here? That's it. Do you need that right there?
Do we do it?
You just want the angle. So which trig function do you need? Tangent. We have opposite, we have adjacent, so we can plug it in. Tangent of our angle is going to... Okay, well, let's discuss that for just a second, because I just kind of assumed that you knew. Okay, just think for just a second, because why are they talking about elevation of the sun? Okay, my picture's kind of in the wrong place on my board for this. Think about it. If the shadow is laying here, where's the sun? It's over there, isn't it? So sun would be, well, I'm kind of off on, over here, right? And so he's shining, and obviously I missed. Okay, but you get the idea? So the angle of elevation of the sun does match with this. You know what I'm saying? This is still the angle of elevation. So if you know the angle of elevation is always down there at the bottom, you got it covered. I know that sounds a little weird, because it's like angle of elevation of the sun, because he's way up in the sky, but for that shadow to fall this way, that it does work. It does work. So if we grab our calculator and knock that out, you got inverse, tangent, and then just type in your decimal. 37.62. Okay. And again, just think about your decimals. Looks like we got 4. So 42.18. Y'all happy with that? We found what it asked for. We're done. You good? Alright, move on. Okay. Swap gears. Instead of let's talking about angle of elevation, what about angle of depression? You can just swap it over and work it the same way, because what did you tell me at the beginning of this discussion? They're equal. So no matter what they tell you about angle of depression, you can work it just like it's angle of elevation. It's okay. So, let's see if we can sketch it. I'll read the whole thing this down, huh? So I got my little lighthouse. Yeah. That's about as good as I can do for water. Oh, I did this wrong. Yeah, if you're doing mine, I just need to draw the little lighthouse, don't I? I've read so many of them that are like that. Here's your cliff. And for some reason, instead of, it ain't water. Well, I guess it is water. Maybe there's an island out here, because lighthouses aren't just out in the middle of nowhere. There's a lighthouse that's really ugly. Okay. Angle of depression. The base of the lighthouse. Okay, well, do it again. That'll work. I told you my pictures are never pretty. They work, they're just not pretty. Okay. That better? Okay, you got your cliff. He observes the lighthouse. It's offshore. The angle of depression from the top of the cliff to the base of the lighthouse. So we did draw that right. We got a right angle. You just got to label your stuff. It's 430 feet away. That's always going to be horizontal distance. And you got 210 feet up the cliff. Find the angle of depression. I mean, if you really want to get toothy about it, angle of depression is right here. But that's going to be equivalent to that angle of elevation. So if you'll just work it with this angle right there, you get the same thing. So keep in your brain, angle of depression is equal to angle of elevation. So this thing works exactly like what you just did. All right, and what do you think about significant digits here? Both of them end in 0. Looks like 2, and they rounded for that third one. So that looks like we just need to put 26. Everybody good with that? Okay. Now, we're going to come back later and do this challenge problem, because I challenge problem is a little intense. We may end up doing it next time. But right now, let's just kind of go back and put things together. How do you label your triangles? Every time. Okay, C is always the right angle, and then hypotenuse is little c. Does it matter which one's A and B? No. Just make sure that all capital letters are angles, lowercase letters are sides. What about little a and little b?
They're opposite.
Just make sure you're opposite, and everything's going to work out fine. So your picture may be slightly different than your buddy's, but your answer should match. Okay. So what does it mean if your instructions say solve the triangle? What are you doing? All the angles, all the sides. Okay. It's perfectly fine to use complementary rules and Pythagorean. That's okay. And what do you know about these two? They're equal. Keep that in mind and it'll make life easier. Okay. Now, what I've got for you is I want you to do 5 problems. Just kind of practice. Get things together. So, you're going to need some notebook paper. Okay? We're going to do that, and then I've got a little project type thing that I'll explain to you. We should get to it today. We'll see. Let me stop this recording because that's it for the